Okay, so now with our last discussion that we had yesterday, so this was something like the sales projections that we uh, designed, okay, yesterday, and we understood the basic how to kind of take any chart, okay, and how to put it, how to punch the data, okay, into these charts, and further we can format based upon the different values or some kind of an organizational aspect like the colors, okay, and we can also kind of fine tune further. So today we are going to explore most of these charts, okay, uh, specifically the donuts, the pie chart, okay, the funnel, okay, and we are also going to see the maps, and if time permits, we will also try to explore matrices and tables, okay. Fine. So this is something which is a kind of a primary requirement that we come to see for most of the business data sets, and we do it in a regular basis in our Excel, right? Here, you just don't need to do any pivot or something like that. Just directly call the table, put it over here, and just make an x-axis and y-axis from this particular options that you get to see here, and you can directly punch the data. Okay, so you don't need to make too much of you don't need to really bother about making pivot and all of those. It's very simple and easy to build these kind of platforms. From the coding aspects, okay, for those who have the coding knowledge, for them you can understand easily that you don't need to write a single line of code. So Power BI is very flexible. You don't need to write a single line of code or something like that, which was very tedious in early days, right? To make these kind of dashboards. So cool. So this is how you do it. Now let us explore some more graphs. Okay. So this was basically this is not a stacked, but this is just a basic bar histogram. Okay, kind of an histogram. Okay, and where we get to see the sales projection based upon the values and based upon the different categories, right? Now I will just put it into a different page. It is not necessary rather like to put into different pages, but this is just for your help that we can put into multiple pages for each and every charts. But ideally, what you can do is you can reshape it, put it into a one particular area, and then probably you can work. Okay, you can further make it as per your own wish. Okay? You can put multiple graphs into a single dashboard. That is actually recommended, and we will actually do it in our end of the basic sessions. Okay, we'll try to build some modules based upon some ready-made data sets. Okay, we'll get some ready-made business relevant use case, and we'll try to create a dashboards within a very small amount of time and make it more productive for us from the reporting aspects. Okay. So I'm just initially putting into a very long screen, and yes, there is one option over here. Let me also tell you this option. So let's say if you have multiple different graphs and you want to actually understand. Now you see, once you change the size, the demographics also changed. Okay, the entire demographic got changed, and it's not much visible like what exactly you want to say. So you have an option over here to expand. Okay, so once you expand, you can actually expand into another single page. Okay, where the entire graph get expanded. Okay, so ideally the logic is like you can put multiple different graphs into a single dashboard, and further you can ideally go ahead and expand it. Okay, so this is the expand option that we do it, and primarily it helps you to kind of populate the entire graph into a single dashboard. Here you can do all over what you need it. Okay, and then you have an option back to report. Okay, back to report option is there. So this gives you to expand. Then you can get to see this particular filter. Okay, so I will come to the filter little bit later, just one or two graphs later. and we'll actually discuss about the filter. So we can apply the filters as well. Okay, and there is an option in your data kind of, you can actually go to the options and settings. Okay, options, and then you can actually set that whether the end user can apply filter or not. Okay. So these that kind of settings also you can do. Okay, privacy settings. Okay. You can allow the end user to apply filter. You can allow the end user to update the data, or else you can just stop them. Okay, you can also stop them for applying filters. Okay, see, you can see an option: don't allow end user to save filter on this file. Okay, so it can be sometimes a situation like, if you give an access to all the end users, somebody can make a crackjack on this dashboard and can save it in a different way. And if that guy also do have an admin rights, then what happens? Your Power BI gets kind of changed, because that guy do have an admin access, right? So make sure that I will again, these things I will again explain later. Okay. That we have an options while we publish. Okay, currently we haven't published anything yet. Okay? So we have an option to publish, and we actually go ahead and we can change the settings. Okay, you can come to the report settings, and you can also change whatever the settings that you want to make. Okay, cool. Which we will discuss later in a broad way. Okay, for most of these use cases. Anyway, I'm just keeping this particular demographics over here. Moving to the next demographic, I'll just take this particular. You can use the same demographic, and you can also create a kind of stacked bar chart. Okay, this diagrams also represents as text column chart. Okay, but I've just made it kind of an histogram. Okay, in this particular visualization. So in page 2, we can ideally do this. So I'll just click over here, click on this demographic, and just need to add the data. So come to this order, right? And I'll just minimize this. Any questions you can put on chat or raise hand as usual. Yeah, so the subcategory I just added. Okay, and then similarly the sales. Okay, where is sales? Yeah, sales. So sales as a value that we already get to see in our previous chart. But now when we say stacked, it means that we want to understand this phone as an entire product, how it is getting splitted into different, you can say we have region. Okay, this region is there, right? So we can put a region away. Now you can see that these entire sales got splitted into multiple different regions. Okay, so the phone as a specific entity which got sold primarily in this central part. Is it central? No, it is east. Okay, it is east, and then west, and then comes your central, and the least part is south. Okay, so what we can see that the central part, sorry, the eastern part and the west part, okay, they are the most contributor in the sales for a given entity called phone. Okay, so this kind of objects are, this kind of views, okay, are very important and very fruitful and helpful for us, because this gives us kind of an understanding within the graph itself that what is the area that is being utilized by a particular product. Okay, a product got sold, and which all the area are basically the sensitive area with the given product. Okay, very cool diagram we have over here. You can also specifically, if you want to make tooltip more productive, so there is an option you can see over here as tooltip. So what is this tooltip? Whenever you hover over any of these bar graph, you get to see this square black region, right? A square black rectangular form shape, right? Where you get to see the subcategory region and such. You can further go ahead and add something else. Okay, you can add kind of a quantity in the tooltip, which you can also see now the quantity over here. So that makes more sense, right? So the major area is I think west, then comes the east, then comes the central, and then the least one is basically the south. Okay, because visually it is a little bit difficult to understand if they are into the same place. But yes, the quantity over here I just added in the tooltip, which gives us the exact figure, right? So that makes more sense. Okay, now this becomes a full-fledged uh, view, right? Now you can come to this particular customization. Okay, this is something that you can do it. You can add a zoom slicer, but again, zoom slicer is not much required until unless you just want to figure out that what is my sales above 200K, what are my sales above 200K. Okay, can it also arrange in ascending and descending order within the bar? Basically what we try to, what ascending and descending order, we don't use it is basically coming based upon the data present in the region. Okay, so what we need to do is then we need to go back into the region and make it in a ascending descending order, and then that will get reflected in my bar graph. Okay, so that is how it is basically working. Okay, so currently it is just taking based upon the data which is present in the column, but yes, you can do those kind of customization. So you need to do more customization on these particular region based parameter. Okay, so that is feasible. Yeah. In one word, it is feasible. Yeah, Gopika, go ahead.
So if we use zoom slices on this particular graph, the interpretation will go wrong, right? Because if
yes, as of now it will go wrong. Yeah, as of now you can say that it will go wrong, because zoom slicer only gives us an understanding when, as I told, like CSAT, okay, or all the sales. Let's say you have a product where all these products are above 300K sales generating. Okay, right? In those cases, zoom slicer makes much more impactful visualization, right? So that is how you can make zoom slicer much of use. Here you can just omit zoom slicer, okay, if you don't want, and if you want, that's up to you. Okay, so you can just remove it, because also you need to remember that if you are designing this Power BI desktop just for yourself, that is fine. But if you are designing for your entire organization, you need to make sure that it doesn't becomes overloaded with much more extra added features that makes no sense. Okay, but it should be kind of very only the things which is required, just put it. These things which are not required, just adding unnecessary feature makes no sense, because it is again something being loaded into the server and gets a lot of requests, and there will be kind of a processing issues. Next is data color. You can change it based upon these different region, but primarily I won't change it. Okay, that's up to you if you want. You can also include, yeah, that makes sense, right? You can also include the data level. That is very much important. Title is there, and title, you can change the title background color. Let's say I want to make it dark, something like that. Font color is basically this, and you can do multiple different such customization. Make it in between. Yes, that makes sense. And you can also change the background color and all. Okay, currently it is white. You can make it kind of a gray, something like that, if you want this kind of customization. But no, really doesn't make sense. But it depends again. You can change it, and further you can go ahead and change the color of your text. Okay, your X level and Y level colors, you need to change it. You need to make it kind of white, and everywhere you need to make these changes. So I'll just do it for one, just to make sure that you guys know these features. That's it. Later on, I'll just not do this every time, because it is kind of just a basic customization. And again, into the legend part, you have to come. You need to change the color for legend items here. And this is what background. Let's make it more darker. Yes. And what else? You can this blue is kind of merging with it, so primarily you can come to this data color, this blue. You can more colors. I want to give something kind of yellow. Yeah, this makes sense. And these east can make something kind of red, something like that. West we can use. So this kind of views also we can build it up. Okay, if we need a more kind of customization, we can obviously go ahead and add. But the primary, the best is always you use the white one. Okay, this one. If you want to do the customization based upon your brand and all, that you can do it. Nobody will stop us. This that is up to the individual way that prospect that you want to. Cool. Now, this tooltip, as I told, you can also, here I have added the tooltip as a quantity. Yes, I already covered that part. Now, you can apply multiple as such different designing part, okay, which doesn't make sense, like border and all doesn't make sense really. So I'll just not do it. But this is how you actually plot a stacked bar chart, okay, or you can say it as stacked column chart, wherein you have those bifurcations done within your bar. Okay, within each of these bars or within each of these product, we can easily, it's kind of appending a lot of information there. Like these are the top 5 products wherein we have the maximum sales, maximum profits. You can just split up across different region, right? So kind of you can append as much as of information that is required. Anybody any doubts so far? I'll just check my chat. Cool. So I'll just move on to the next. Okay. I have 2 questions. Sorry. Okay, the last point. Last point in the sense regarding the feature of this, the way to read this chart. Okay, the way to read this chart is basically what we did over here is this was the same chart we used it. Okay, this is the same chart. Okay, we have used it. Only the difference over here is we have added a kind of more information to this chart. So how to read this? So we have this product called phone. We have this product called chair, and we are trying to see the sales for this product. Okay, so phones from the central region got 72K sales. Product phone from the eastern region got 101K sales. I don't know which country it is belonging, but primarily I think the data is from US. Phones from uh, south region got 58K sales, and phones from west region got 99K sales. So in a given information, you don't need 2 different charts where you get a region and where you get the cells. So using this smart way, wherein you can embed both these information together. Okay, in a given dashboard, you will not get multiple different space or multiple different chart makes people more confusing, right? Rather, if you have a single chart where more informations are present, and we just need to know how to read these charts. That's so 72K, 101K, 58K, and 99K, right? So these are splitted. The entire cells are cells got splitted across different regions. So that is how we are reading this particular chart. Okay, is it clear for everyone? Anybody any doubts? Cool. So we are working on the same file yesterday, right? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. So I'll just show you the file and then I will come to this. So this is my data. Okay. I'll just come to this data tab, the order sheet. Okay. The last yesterday, what I shared, the same sheet we are working on. The order sheet is there. And we have this, we have this entire data. And you can see in this given data, we have sales, we have the subcategory, we have the region, and we have just taken this region. That's it. The data is of United States, and this is the city, state, postal code, region, everything. And the next question is which option to activate? Okay, so you just need to come. So you just need to take this particular stacked column chart, and you just need to come to the legend. Okay, in the legend, you can add the specific region, right? The region we have added. So I've just added region over here. So you can add over here in legend. If you see my previous graph, yesterday's graph, what yesterday we had a very introduction session, and we just projected this just to introduce how the graph looks like. So over here, we don't have anything in the legend part. I've just not added anything. And today's chart, we have added legend. Okay. So that is how we have added the information. See, again, possibilities are there. You can add multiple legends, but that makes no sense, right? Because in a single bar, you have a particular information, and for one particular legend, it is working. If you add multiple legend, then multiple information, then it doesn't make any sense, right? So you need to understand what makes more informative. So if I just come over here and let's say order is there, and let's say if I just put city, does it make sense with multiple different information? We cannot. It doesn't make sense, right? There's so many cities. So based upon your, there are some thumb rule. Okay. Yes, I forgot to actually mention design thumb rules. Thumb rule is any legend which is crossing more than 5, don't take it. Okay. Sorry, any such given parameter, not legend. Sorry, any such given parameter. Let's say this region. Region has 4 regions. Okay. I just took the city. There are so many cities. Okay. Let's say 20 to 30 cities. Now you just try to plot those 20 to 30 city in this given bar. It doesn't make sense because you cannot read it. Okay. So there are some thumb rules in designing these visualizations. The thumb rule is the category has to be as minimum as possible. Okay. You want to visualize those cities, there is a different visualization technique. Okay. So if you want to visualize in a different way, you want to visualize all these cities, there is a different technique that I will show you. Okay. But here, if I try to add city, it makes no sense. And if you say that if you want to add multiple legend, in the sense if you want to add multiple parameter, you ideally cannot do that, because one single bar you cannot split into multiple different visualizations. So that is also not possible. And this also makes so messy that we cannot understand. We cannot ideally read through it. It is not the ideal visualization. So these are some thumb rules. So thumb rule is any category, always remember, any category which is giving you more than 5 or 6 discriminations, don't take that category, because it becomes slowly difficult for everybody to read that information. Okay. Any questions?
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sir, while we export this graph anywhere, so can we read the graph the same way we are reading here?
Yes. Reading graph is your own skill, right? You want to export in the sense, if I just export as export to PDF. It is just generating the PDF report of my graph. So I guess it will open. See, this is my PDF. That's it.
Sir, that small dialog box will not appear here.
No, it is always the real time. That is something comes with hovering. So this is called tooltip. The dialog box over here is called tooltip. That comes with hovering. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Can we do the same in x-axis, that is with year? Okay, so you want to make kind of let's take this, and you want to make kind of legend with x-axis. Is that the question? Ideally you cannot do so. There is a different way to visualize that. Okay, so
yeah, because I was sorry. What I was thinking was, so let's say I have on a real life application, right? I have a data for 2019, 20, 21, right? I want to see whether that data, how is it behaving? So I was thinking, is there a way to show three different, let's say for a typical, like, let's say electricity price, right? Okay. On that year, what was the average electricity price? And then to show that three bar, like a three vertical bar instead of, the on the horizontal.
I'll come to that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I got a question. Yeah. I'll come to that particular visualization. Just hold on for a few more minutes.
No problem. Sorry about that. Okay.
No, not an issue. That's a very good question that you are thinking on the design part. There are some other ways to do that, but not with this particular visualization. Okay. We cannot do with this particular visualization, but yes, there is definitely a way to do that. I will show you. So, okay, let me show you eventually now itself. It's an interesting point. And okay, just a minute. Let me just frame this. Okay, so primarily I actually don't have the data in that form, but I'll definitely show you. Okay, with this particular data, it is not in that form uh, because it is more kind of order date and ship date. Okay, so this is basically the visualization. If you have any such data, you can do that. So this is the visualization. Okay, this is called line and clustered column chart. So this particular visualization, what you have to do is line is something. I was just coming to this point. Line is something which tells you the line graph, okay, which can be used for trend analysis and all of this. Okay, so you can add if you have a series of dates or something like that. So let's say order date or yes, order date. So that is something which you can put it into this value. So uh, here it is coming as a count because these order dates are not in a form of sales. Okay, like okay, what I should do is let's take some other values apart from our sales. Let's say the quantity. Okay, let's change the problem statement. So in spite of category, let's say quantity is there. Oh, okay. And let us take quantity. So you can see that 2016 we have this many quantity, 2017 we have these many quantity, 2018 we have these many, and 2019 this many. Okay. And now if you want a subcategory of legend, you can add it. But again, see, this is the way we cannot read the information. So there is no point of adding these many legends, right? So legend should be in such a way so that we can add, we can ideally read that. Okay, let it, as a thumb rule, what I said, that legend should be something like which has a very minimum categorization. And now you can see that with these 4 different values, we can see that from the eastern region there we got in 2016 we got more amount of sales. In um, uh, 2017 we got more amount of sales in the western part. In 2018 we got yes, western is again the most amount of sales that we received, and similarly in uh, western again the most amount of sales that we have. So what we can see that comparison, if we do from this to this, then we see that the eastern part has done more better than the western, because it is somewhere it's a negligible change that happened. Okay, in the west part, okay, there is a very negligible change happened, rather it declined, whereas the eastern part got a good improvement. Okay, now this thing is also being, you can use this line chart cluster. Okay, in this form also you can do this. Now here the line values you can specify, like this is the column series. Now you can add multiple things over here. If you have less amount of products, okay, then you can probably add in the column series, okay, kind of subcategory. You can just experiment and see, but it is again not in a readable mode, right? In 2016, which is the most sold product based upon the quantity, is not being much readable. So we have a different visualization for that. I will come to that point. So this is how you can do that, and based upon where you can put in the x-axis the dates, and you can take any such thing, any such values. Okay, in the measurement part, you can put it in the y-axis, and let's say we take profit. Okay, then you can see that obviously with more amount of quantity and sales, the profit also is rising high. So this is something that you can build it up. Okay, you can also add more kind of you can say more kind of columns over here. Um, let me take, let's say, apart from quantity, or in spite of quantity, we can try to see. It's taking as a count, but I really don't need this. So it only makes sense with quantity at this point in time with the given data which I have it. And probably this is how the data that I have it with that, this is the only story that we can draw for this particular graph. That 2016, okay, this is the benchmark near about, you can add the tooltip, okay, with all these quantity and all. So the benchmark is 7581, already it is there. Okay. 7581, then 7979. You can add as a part of the legend, you can always add the region and those parts. Okay, we can also always do that. So we can add this as a point of our design. Okay, thumb rule, we can always add this, and we can create a kind of a narrative story around it. Yes, you can provide the data. I will be able to help. Or yeah, you can provide the data. Sure. Because it's primarily depend on what kind of data you have. Thing is, you cannot readily fit any data into any kind of visualization. So even I do have multiple different data set to explain you. So we'll be going through. Yeah. So this is one of the visualization where you have clustered line column chart. Okay, where you can make the bifurcations over there in the bar graph, as well as the line tells you the trend. Okay, whether the sales is going up or whether the sales is going down. So based upon the orders, okay, so order dates we have it, and with that order date we want to see that what is the quantity, and with the given quantity what is the margin of profit we are making. So you can see that at 29 we have done a very good margin, okay, comparative to 2018, 2017 and 2016. Again, there is another perspective point. Don't think that the line over here is starting at the blue part. Does it mean that the line depicts that the rest part of these regions doesn't make any profit? No, we should not read in that way. It means this line is actually being deployed independently apart from these bar charts. Okay, so this is actually just giving you the trend, okay, based upon the time. That's it. So it is kind of additional on top of it. You can further go ahead and change whatever you want it. Okay, whatever the customization you want it. Okay, you can use data labels. Okay, and based upon these customizations, you can also actually go ahead and do that. Any questions? See, you can provide the data in the next session. I will just try to help you out. And any questions with this particular graph? Demographics.
No, sir, no doubt.
Great. Okay. So yes, now let me move on to the next, wherein this pie chart. Okay, again the thumb rule is same. If you add too much of category to visualize over here, like city and all, primarily it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so what we can do is, let's say, there is only now you can see that the value points are changing with each and every demographics. These value points will the source and the way it takes the data completely change. So over here it is legend. Okay, so if I take city and put it on legend, and let's say I have these many cities now. Okay, now it becomes too difficult for me to read. Now, let's say I want to see sales as a value, not readable. So this is something, if you do it, it doesn't make sense. And this is a different way. This is what we have to learn in Power BI. That's it. Rest all is easy, drag and drop. Okay, nothing is too technical. But we just need to understand how can we design the design principle of these graphs. Doesn't make sense. So there is a different design for it. I will come to that later part. So for this kind of implementation, what you have to do is we have to take, as I told, thumb rule is not more than 5 or 6, maximum 10. If you're just going beyond 10, then that again looks like that. So we have taken the region and then we have taken the cells. Okay. Now this gives a clear picture based upon different region. What is the sales value? Okay. And you can add as many like you can add profit, you can add quantity in the tooltips. Okay. And you can come to this customization part wherein we can apply the title. Okay. So it is already there, so it does not make any change. Just put it in between, that's it. Can increase the font size a bit. And what we can do is on the tooltip part, okay, yes, tooltip also you can change, you can customize. Okay, this is currently black in color, you can do all over the customization over there. That is not that much important, but yes, you can do that. You can also put the data level on, okay, which will actually help us with the views. Okay. And this is very simple, right? The pie chart is very simple. So this is pie chart, okay, which gives you the complete view, 360-degree view, different, and you can understand the share each of these are taking. But we can understand west and east, they are the most contributor comparative to this. So you can implement kind of not only with sales, right? A pie chart can be implemented in any of those kind of categorization that you do with any kind of data. Okay, not necessarily that it is always with sales or something like that. You can also change it accordingly. So you can see that clicking on each of these just opts out the entire thing. Okay, this is one of the technique which I will show you when you have multiple different demographics. To click on one particular area that get highlighted in all other demographics. I will just show you once I just complete the basic design principle. So that is mostly into the form of dashboard. So that is very good strategy. Okay, you just need to know one particular thing with respect to all other parameters, all other demographics. You can definitely do that. So this is all about the pie chart, and I'll just also show the donut similarly over here, this particular page. So this is the donut. Okay. And in this donut, what we will do is we can actually these loops are same. Okay, the functionality is also same. You can see the value points are also same. Legend, details, value, tooltip. Here also legend, details, value, tooltip. So over here we can take, let's say, legend as, we see shipping mode. I think we have less amount of, yes, shipping mode is less, and we can say sales as its value. Okay, but just I will, yeah. So you can see now that standard class has more amount of customers comparative to second class, and then we have same day customers which are very less, because obviously the same day shipping mode is basically very costly. Okay, whereas standard class is kind of based upon the business need and requirement to use the shipping. Okay, so you can see that this is the donut. Okay, Now, this donut tells us the sales by shipping mode, what kind of more customers coming in. Okay, so pie chart has multiple different functionality. As there is multiple different things. You can also kind of merge both of these, kind of merge in the sense you can primarily just copy the same customization and just make it look same. Okay, that's what is merge, nothing else. So sorry, like the title. Okay, the title what we can do is font color, we can put it white, background color we can put it something like this, increase 15, similarly this font color something white, background is, it's look kind of a same view, right? And the colors are same, right, which gives us very easy understanding. Though the legends are different, over here it's region, over here we have the shipping point. Yeah, Gopika, go ahead. Any questions?
Is there a way to copy all the customizations done, or do we have to individually do the way you did right now?
Individual, because these customizations are completely independent with these visualizations. So there is no way that you can do it. We need to make sure that to make it more readable and to make it more presentable in front of customer and clients, what we do is we maintain some color codes. Okay.
Yeah, is there any possibility to set it as
No.
By default?
By default, you cannot. You have to go and add it as per your
Okay, understood.
branding. Yeah. And this is just a one-time activity. Later on, once you just keep on appending the data, it doesn't changes. It's just a one-time.
Sorry, my
Yeah.
question is, see, I see a little arrow sticking out and you see a data there, right?
Yeah.
Dollar value in the percentage. Can you customize that portion as well?
That is something which is with only donut and which is only with you don't need to customize rather, and it is something which you cannot change it. Okay, that is something which changes automatically based upon the shape and size, and which is kind of a feature for these donuts and pie chart. So we don't do that changes, and we can kind of add tooltip to it, but primarily we kind of don't change it. Okay, we just leave it as it is. But yes, you cannot change these numbers and values. Okay, and you cannot customize based upon the brand as well. This is something which appears by default.
All right, yeah, thanks.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. Right.
Sir, so I wanted to know, how do we change the order in legend? So suppose I say I want the region in legends, I want in a different order, or in chip mode, I want in a different order. Like say I want first class in the first and like that. So how do we change the order?
Okay, so for changing order, what we need to do is it appears in the data. So you need to come back to the data. In the data, if you see, let's say the shipping mode. Okay, so it starts with standard class. Okay, now you come to the visualization, you see standard class. Come to back to the data, you see the next is second class. You come back to the visualization, next is second class. The third appearance is first class, and you back to the visualization, the third appearance is. So if you really want to change this order, so these orders are being not manipulated by Power BI by its own, but rather it is being pulled from this data. So the logic behind this order is just what it does is it takes this entire shipping mode and takes the unique data out of it. When it takes the unique data, it takes the first in first and second in second, the third in third, like that. Okay. So if you want to change anything, you want to make it kind of ascending, descending based upon A to Z, okay, you can do this over here. You can do this primarily in your Excel sheet. You can make it in a ascending order. You can make it in a, like you have the sort by column, okay. So you can sort it. You can change whatever you want in the data. But here you don't have, in this legend, you can come and see in this legend, you don't have any other option. You have only these few options. You can change the position. You can change it from top. Okay, the legend, you can put it on top. But you cannot make it kind of ascending or descending over here, because this is not pulling the information. This is not actually calculating the information. It's being given in your data set. So if you want to do any change, you need to make sure that you do it in your data set. You do it in your Excel sheet. Okay.
Yes, yes.
That
Got it.
is, yeah. Any questions? Let's see the chat. Let me see if anything I'm missing here. No. Okay. So this is most into the pie and donut. Okay. And the next visualization, which also tells you some, it also gives you some sort of story. Okay. Let's say this is called funnel. Okay. This particular visualization is known as funnel. So this visualization tells us that kind of a funnel, right? Where you can say that you can take it as kind of sales, which you can put it into values and kind of subcategory on the top. So now you can see that the phone, which is having on the top layer, okay, and fastener, which is on the bottom layer. So this is also a similar representation that you do it, like at the funnel is something, at the end of the funnel is something which is the minimum value, and the top of the funnel is something which is the maximum value. So primarily you can just think it as a kind of a histogram, which we have already seen, and this is something, the similar visualization that can also be depicted in a similar way. So this funnel back again, customization, again you can just change the data color. Okay, most of these customizations are with the data color. Okay, and you want to change the title color and all, and nothing else. You can stop the tooltip. Okay, tooltip will not appear. If you add tooltip, then it will appear. It's always recommended that we have tooltip, okay, because it helps to give you some more inner information, and you can also take it further. So this visualization is kind of similar kind, which gives you more over the quantitative values. Okay, this is not something gives you the trend and all. Okay, more kind of quantity in picture. Okay, like more amount of sales, less amount of sales. Okay, more profit, less profit, something like that. Okay, so it doesn't gives it is not something trend based information or something related to kind of a continuous improvement or decrement, nothing like that. Okay, funnel is primarily used like more about quantitative analysis, like if you have something in numbers, okay, which is shrinking or which is increasing. Okay, so to narrate those kind of story, we use funnel. Okay. So we'll do just bit of customization. That's it, which is very basic. and alignment looks good. And that's it for funnel. Any questions? In mobile view, yes, it appears. If you are using the web service, it will appear. The functionality will be there, but it will be difficult for you in a mobile view with tooling. Okay, but it will be there, but it is a little bit difficult from mobile. Any questions? No questions. Okay. So the next visualization is very important, and this is very unique. You don't have this kind of visualization in Excel and all, and very informative and very unique visualization. This is called ribbon chart. Okay, and this is very unique. I really love this. So what does it says? We will see it later, but how to fill the values, let us understand. So, okay, what we can do is, let's say, order date. And we can take region as a legend. And we can take, let's say, sales. Okay. And I will just let you know how to read these information. So data label on zoom slicers ideally not required. Ribbon is fine. Ribbon is fine. Title is there. And you can say that the sales pattern by year, or let's say sales pattern. So how to read these information? So this visualization is very important because it is basically tells us that how this sales is getting changed based upon different years. So let's say this one, okay. So 0.15 million from the west region, which got changed back, which got declined to 0.14 million and then went back to 0.19 million in 2018, and now currently it is 0.25 million. Okay. The one which we were actually reading it in a line graph was very difficult, right? Because each and every individual line we need to read, and we need to again see that how it is performing, something like that, right? Whereas this ribbon chart was is much in a easy way to read. Let's say if I take the line chart, and if I take an axis, let's say this order date, and let's say the values I take sales, and quite difficult, right, to read each of these lines, which we have seen earlier as well, right? One single line, if it goes, it becomes very easy to read it. But this particular line, this particular chart is quite difficult. So what they did it, they actually converted this particular chart into the ribbon chart. Okay. So this is basically, sorry. this is the ribbon chart makes much easy for us to understand, because individual line you don't need to compare again and again, and much easier to read this, much easy visualization. So 2016, we can see that the central region got good performance from 0.10 million to 0.10 million in the same, and 0.15, and then currently 0.15. So that's made a good performance. And the eastern region is somewhat static, okay, but it has comparatively given a better performance. And if you see the southern region, it is something has declined its performance, but has given a more kind of a bandwidth in its event 29. So it was good in 2016 with greater amount of area, okay, means greater distribution, which got reduced and back to a normal distribution at 29. Whereas in 2019, the southern region, the central region has performed better than the south. So this particular visualization tells us kind of very informative story on how each of these particular lines, which they have just changed the way, the visualization way, that's it. It is as similar as these particular lines, these lines, as similar as this, but just they have changed the way to read it. And you can have these visualizations. Yeah, you can basically go ahead and change, add some more customization. That's up to you, right? That's ideally, there is another thumb rule, right? If you are just taking these region and all, okay, in these cases, you can actually take the extreme colors, okay. These are just the thumb rules, okay, nothing else. Eventually, if you don't follow, that's okay. Just you need to know how to read these information, right? So the extreme colors helps you to discriminate much better between these different parameters. So it is recommended that you discriminate as much as possible. Any questions on ribbon chart?
Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I have one question here.
Yeah.
Basically, whenever we are looking to a trend of a specific region or specific product, then we can use this kind of graph, right?
Yes, very good point. So whenever you are trying to kind of see the trend on multiple different product or region, something like that, okay, you can actually use this ribbon chart. Yep.
Okay, so okay, got it. It's like a trend chart of a particular category.
It is. As I told, page number 6 and page number 7. It's the same, exactly the same. Okay, this is kind of a trend chart that we have. Right?
Okay.
Just they have changed the way it much more easier. Much easier to read. That's it. But it is ideally the same thing.
Yeah, but I think it will be more clear than this trend chart, I think, right?
Yes.
You will get a number, it will, the size of the volume you can get it. Like
yeah. Much clear. That's
much clear. Okay. That's
much informative. Yeah. So this is very good. In Power BI, we have this ribbon chart. It's one of the best.
So whenever we will take the export it through PDF, that color will not reflect, like
These colors.
yeah,
it will reflect. Yeah,
it will
let's
reflect.
do that.
Okay.
Let me export back. Everything will be there.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
Just you need to cut, copy, paste, put it into customer deck. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So the next is basically, I'm just moving on to the next. Any questions you can always ask.
Hi, sorry. I see that on the x-axis there's a year, right? Year written there, and I don't see
Yes.
anything on the y. Is that because self-understood? There's a dollar value.
Yeah, good point. So nothing in the Y. It's basically the ribbon chart. If you see, okay. Let me show you this. So y-axis is something that only represent kind of a volume over here, but it changes, the parameter changes, right? So it is a kind of an auto calculative in this ribbon chart. Okay. So you can, currently we have taken sales. Okay. At this point in time, let me remove these cells and let me put profit here. So you can see that the volume got decreased. Okay. You just see the last one has, it's kind of no profit, almost made a very thin profit. Okay. In 2016 and then 2017, it has made a very good profit. Okay. Then back in 2019, it's got shrinked. So this part, the x-axis part, is something which changes based upon the parameter that we put it on the x-axis, that we put it on these values. Okay. So it's most kind of volume that it tries to determine, and this volume keeps changing with each and every parameter. So they don't want to confuse the users to kind of make an x-axis data. Okay, so they made it kind of an auto calculator, automated for x-axis.
Okay, thank you. Now the other question is, you see, when the data transition from 2016 to 2017 to 18 and 19, right? The transition is a little blurry, let's say shaded, right? Can you shade that even lower to stand out the actual data, or that's self-calculated by the by Power BI itself? That, you know,
Okay.
the color code, like color shading there, you see. So to stand out, can we shade it even lighter? Can you go on a lighter node? That the transition.
Oh, okay, okay, got it, got it. So probably not. I didn't explore that, but that's a good part. I think this is not the one. Probably not. There is something auto calculated. Yes. If I go to the data color, this is the only things that are present. If I go to the x-axis, yeah. So we cannot make it, I think, more blurry, but that is something we can explore. Yep, good point. Shadow is not the one. Yes, I guess we can. Good, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I never explored. Thanks. I also learned here. We can. Yep. Any questions? Anybody? Okay, so moving on to the next topic. Now, we can also this line chart. Okay, already we have seen there is another line chart which we call it as area chart. Okay, and there is another one which is stacked area chart. Nothing but if you have multiple parameters to plot it, you can do that. Okay, so let's say we have kind of order date. Okay, onto the axis, and let's say the profit is something that we are looking into it. So this kind of stacked area chart helps us. You can actually use this if you add only one particular parameter, and if you want more parameter, you can keep on adding that. Okay. So now we have sales by profit. So what we can see that the profit remains almost same with compared to the sales which has gone up. Okay, so we can easily understand that the company, the shipping company is actually looking for more clients rather than making the more margins. So they want more customers to get associated with them. So this kind of analysis you can do that using this stack area chart. Okay, so over here what you have to do is you need to do little bit more customization kind of data levels which helps you, and then these data levels you can make it a little bit, sorry, you can just increase the font size because sometimes it won't look proper. So you can see that we have also added these sales and the total and the initial and the total sales values, which you can put it off. Okay, if you feel like it is going to, these are the total values. Okay, which gives the total value for 2017, total value for 2016, 18, like that. Okay, you can also put it off if you think. And series level is nothing but if it is a very long chart, then this is the profit margin and this is the series sales margin. Like if you have multiple different line chart. Okay, so what happens, we get confused like which particular line is telling what particular category. Currently we have only two, so it's very easy for us to basically understand that which particular line depicting what. But if you have multiple different that, then you can add series level over here. Okay, and you can change the data color. These are white, and area transparency you can increase and you can decrease. Okay. It is recommended that you make it more transparent, which makes more decent in terms of this look. And you can come to, primarily we don't change any x-axis, y-axis. Okay, we just keep it as it until unless we want to change we want to highlight this 2018, 29, you can do that. Okay. So you can come to this X and can increase the font, and you can change the family. Yeah, that's makes sense. 2016, 17, 18, 19.
ఉంటారు కదా మీ సంబంధాలు మీరు అంటున్నారు వాళ్ళు సపోర్ట్ కూడా చెప్పుకోరు కదా దే ఆర్ ఆర్గనైజర్
Venkat, I'm just putting on mute here. Thanks. Aryan, yes. Any question, Aryan?
No, sir. I raised my hand at that time.
Okay. Okay. So this is how you can do it. I'm just, yeah, title. I'll just change it. You can give your own names. Like I will give profit versus sales margin. You can easily understand, like more customer, the organization is looking with comparative to not that big margin of profit, right? And put it, sorry, font color is this, background color is this. That's what is your area, stacked area line chart. Yeah, you can do any kind of trend analysis with this. Okay? This is very good for analyzing the trend over the time, profit over the time. Okay, you can also go with kind of counts of CSAT, DSAT, and all of this. You can primarily do all of those things. Right? Any questions on line chart? And you can add in the tooltip also more information. Okay, that is very recommended. Yes, you can add more information into the tooltip, because with more amount of lines doesn't make any sense. Let's say you have this and you want quantity also. Okay, so quantity is also the same as goes with sales. So you can better add into the tooltip rather than making a new line. So you can see that the tooltip helps us to understand that, to show us that particular point. That makes sense. So you can avoid as many lines. There is again a thumb rule, like don't take too much of lines. Again, it will be messy around. Okay. Rather, you can add into the tooltip and make it more sensible. Any questions? So that's what the line chart, stacked area chart. Now, if you want all of these, now let me show you one particular combination of all of these dashboard. So we have the sales projection, which we can take it. We can actually put all of these informations over here. And what we will do is we will customize the entire, all of these information together. And we will kind of create a single dashboard. So I'll just take all of this. And you can literally copy and paste it. So you can do this. Okay, so let me remove this because this is exactly the same as sales and this region by category. Yes. Now coming to the page 3, we have, okay, so we have, this makes not much sense because the line is basically the profit and we have the profit and sale margin different. So I'll not take that. I will take this page and we'll use this. So the benefit of pie chart is like it helps us with smaller view also. It looks very explainable. Sorry. what I can do is I can expand this and something we will try to fit in this gap. Funnel is the similar category. So we'll just try to embed all of those, and then we will try to regulate, okay, all of these graph together. So that's why I'm just trying to put all of this into a single dashboard. We are going to regulate all of these graph together. So that's my intention behind putting all of these dashboard together. So we need to change this. This looks very odd. Okay, right? So what I can do is I go to the paint option, and this data color is fine, but its background is very. This looks good, and go to the x-axis and y-axis. So y-axis, the color we need to change to, let's say, we can use the, and x-axis we can. This makes sense. So this is ribbon. So let's take the ribbon as well. And we are going to put the ribbon. So I'm going to kind of regulate this entire chart, right? And this is not required actually. Okay, let me remove that. What is more important is the trend, right? Not this one, but this one. This is more important. So let us take this, fit this into our entire kind of a trend chart. Let me squeeze it out. So can you see these regulations? This I wanted to show you. Okay, so this is now into an equal size. This is just we can equally divide it. And at the top, there is an option, we call it as slicer. Okay. So this is the first thing ideally we should get introduced with, but yes, I just showed you. So slicer is something where actually you can add filter and all. Okay. So let's say this is my slicer, and in this slicer we actually add field. In the field we add the data or something what we want to add filter with. So let's say, what is this category? I don't know. Let me go ahead into the data and see what category says. Okay, yes. So what we will do is we will, sorry. Yeah. So we will add these category into this field. Okay, this slicer. So we have only 3 category. It looks, it is good that we have only 3 category. And what we can do is we can make it horizontal. Yes. So this becomes my filter of slicer. Okay. And the rest we can, okay, but we can do some more customization. So come over here, you can add a title and you can change the title kind of business units. Okay. Yes, business units. Cool. That's it. And you can add a text box. Sorry. Oh, just a minute. Let me add a shape. So fill, I don't want to fill anything. And I'll just write it up. Order management. Text on order management. Font color, let us put the dark blue. And outline, I don't want any outline. And I want to increase this order management dash. Okay. And yeah, that's it. Looks good. So now what? This is not important. Yeah. So we removed it. So this is my order management dashboard, a very basic one, which we have done it with whatever the things we learned today. And you can make more customization like background and all. So what you can do is, since this is your top shape, you can make kind of a branding. Okay, you can add logo, images, whatever you want. And I just want to kind of give some color. So I want to give something like this. Text, I want to, yeah. Cool. So now it looks a full-fledged kind of a dashboard. Now the thing that I want to show you, like once we change, so for now the entire thing got changed for furniture. So the entire demographic get changes based upon the filter that we apply. Office supplies, things are different. Technology, business unit, things are different. So this particular way, we can actually apply these filters. So let me put it at the right corner, yes. And you can see that our entire demographics is changed. So this is your first dashboard with very basic things that we learned. And this is the one, yes. Open to all questions, any doubts, any questions, or if anybody is stuck with any of the visualizations. Yeah. Go ahead.
So my question was, now we have worked on the dashboard. Now I have to convert this into mobile view. How do I do it?
Okay, so primarily you don't have to do anything. Power BI will take care of everything. So what you have to do now is come to this home, then you need to publish this. Okay, so click on publish. You want to save this. Yes, I'm saving this. Okay, I just want to change these dots. Just a minute, please. So this is basically the legend. Yeah. Yes. So the point to change into a mobile view. So once you publish this, so I primarily don't have that. So by next week I will have these access. Okay, of my current organization.
Okay, so we'll try it out. The step would be publish and then post
And
that.
once you publish it, you need to. It will be showing in your Power BI web service in your My Workspace and dashboard. Okay, so once you publish it, it will be visible over there in your My Workspace and dashboard. From there, you need to get the link. Okay, so if you have the subscription, then the Power BI, the Microsoft will actually share you the link, okay, to visualize this dashboard in Google. Okay, so once you get that link, you will also get to see a QR code. Okay, two things you will get to see. The first one is basically the link, hyperlink. It's basically the hyperlink, and the next one is basically the QR code. So yes, go ahead.
Yeah, should I share my screen? I have not worked on the whole dashboard, but I'm just trying to understand how do we.
Oh yeah. So let me stop sharing.
Yeah. So I'll show it once again. I went to publish. Now publish to Power BI.
Yeah, My Workspace, correct. Now select. Okay. Now
success.
Yeah. So once you can open this. Okay.
Open test run. Is this?
Yeah. So you can open over here, or this you can open in Power BI web service. So this is your desktop app. So now you can just go into Power BI web service. Yes. You need to sign in with your organization account.
I think this is going to take some time because of verification.
Yeah. Okay. No issues.
Okay.
Thank you for using Microsoft sign-in verification system. Please press the hash key to finish your verification. Your sign-in was successfully verified. Goodbye.
Okay. this should appear in my workspace, right?
Yes. So test one, see at the bottom. Yeah, test one. So you can see this. So
Okay. Fine. Got it.
now the next thing is you can see the three dots over here at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, click over here. You can see the data set, okay, of the data. But again, there are something that we need to actually make sure. The first thing is whoever is going to view this should not change the data and should not deal with all of those crackjacks. So
Okay.
those things I will teach you later. But as
Yeah.
of now, go to this share option. You can share your dashboard as well with your peers. This is the main thing.
Okay. Understood.
If you do the free version, you will get a limited period. And if you have the license, so your organization has just given you the accessibility as a free version, okay, like the one which we already have it in your desktop. So once you click, once you have that license, right, you will be able to see the publish option. You will be able to get the link of this dashboard. And if you share that link across your mobile, across your friends over there, if they open it from your laptop, or if you just open it from your mobile phone, eventually that also will work and it will automatically adjust. Okay, the mobile view will automatically adjust.
Okay, now I've got for next 60 days.
Yes, so you can copy this link. Yes. And I guess only the people from your organization can see it because this is being regulated by you. Yeah. So you can just copy that, put it onto your mobile phone. Okay.
Okay, understood.
Try to explore it. Okay. You can just get it through your email in your mobile phone. Yeah.
Yeah. That'll.
Yeah. And try to just open from your mobile phone. You don't have to do anything. The dashboard automatically, the Power BI will adjust the things in here.
Okay. Okay, got it. Let me just check meanwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Anybody else want to clarify any doubts? Somebody was having question, right? I don't know.
So I have one question.
Sure.
Regarding that filter, that part. Now, can you repeat it again, just for how to bring that filter?
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Just one. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you just come over here.
Okay.
So this is your dashboard.
Yeah.
Come to the visualization.
Okay.
You will see an option called slicer.
Slicer, right? Okay.
Yes. So any kind of filter which you want, kind of common for all of these visualization. Okay. It's a kind of an universal filter, you can say it as.
Okay.
So just put it over here.
Okay.
And you will get to see, like, wait, let me show you. Click on the slicer.
Okay.
It will open and you will get to see this field. Okay. In this field, you just select any of these particular option which you want to add it as a filter. As of now, I've just taken category. Okay. So category I have taken as a filter, and then that is how it is showing me.
Okay.
Can we take only one, or can we use multiple?
See, again, multiple filter. If you try to build it up, then category automatically what it does is this is what happens. So for a given category, first you take the city, and then for a given city you take the category which is office supply. So you can take multiple, but it has to be meaningful. Okay, over here it is not meaningful, so we will not take it. But if you make it a meaningful kind of, obviously you can do it.
So that means that filter that we can use for multiple sheets, right? For categories or information from multiple sheets.
Yes, yes, you can. You can. Primarily, if I say that you can add multiple filters over here, and these filters will be kind of used. Like if I see a particular city, this is what the entire. So only in 2018, this particular city got some product delivered. Okay, and only first class, and it is from the western region, and the number of sales, the quantity is only 3. Profit is negligible. I don't see any. Profit is, yes, 9 out of 19. 19 is basically the sales value, and 9 is the profit. So this is something that based upon the CTI too. Okay, you can take category, okay, which is making more sense here. Like with furniture, what is the statistics of your entire business? With office supplies, what is the statistic of your entire business? So with technology, what is the statistics? Yes. And you can also use dates. Okay, given that the dates are in a date time format, not in this format. This format is very, the Power BI is not able to determine these into a date time format. So you should always put it into a date time format. Then only it will be able to determine it. Over here also the same way, the problem remains the same. So make sure that your data is in a date time format, and then probably you can add it. So next session, I will show you the slicer with date time, and we'll try to do all of those. Little bit more technical we'll go. Okay, in the next session. So with these 2 sessions, we understood what is Power BI and how to build some basic visualization. These are very basics, and how to create a dashboard which has an integrated filter along with all other different visualizations.
Okay.
So I will be sharing this dashboard with everyone, the PBIX file. Okay, and you can just directly open in your Power BI. Okay, so how to open? Just come to this. Okay, and open report. Okay, open an existing report. You can see that open existing report, right? So you can open that particular existing. Once you click on this, it will browse report. It will ask you to, you can see like this, and then you can click on open. That's it. Any questions, anyone? So our next class.
Can you share your mail ID also, so that if at all you're facing any difficulty, we can just, while we are trying it out, we can send the screenshot or ask you over there, if that's okay.
Yes, I can share. So
okay,
yes,
fine, we'll use Slack. Yes,
Slack.
yes. Okay.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
One more question. During when you were showing us visualizations, there was a section called Power Apps over there. So what are these Power Apps? So I guess it's the second last one. So
Okay, so what happens is like if you want these specifically, let's say you want to build this visualization and you want to get it synced with any of the Microsoft suites, okay, like SharePoint. You want to get it synced with let's say in your OneDrive, okay. So what we can build, what Microsoft suggests, but we don't do in our industry. Okay. Why? Because there are a lot of challenges. So what Microsoft tell that, let's say you have a SharePoint, okay, Microsoft suites. You have SharePoint, and you have a dashboard. You have a data in OneDrive. So what Microsoft is telling that, and let's say you have Microsoft Forms, like Google Forms we have Microsoft Forms. So the end user is going to punch in all the data to Forms to OneDrive. OneDrive will actually put all the data into this Power BI dashboard, and that will get hosted. That will get hosted in SharePoint. Okay, so this is the kind of an architecture. So Microsoft asks everyone to use their own suites and just build their own kind of a flow from where you have an end user who is filling the forms, you get the demographics ready, and you can see that demographic in SharePoint. And back to these business managers. Customer or someone kind of. So this is basically a power automation. Okay, we call it as Power Automate. Okay, so this is for just linking their products, but ideally we don't do it. Okay, we don't use their product for enterprise level service and support, right? For an example, let's say if I'm working in Wipro, I was working in Wipro, and let's say we don't host it in dashboard, host this dashboard in SharePoint. We can directly give this dashboard access to these managers, okay, rather than hosting in SharePoint, because in Power BI already it is hosted, right? So rather than splitting all your budget with different suites, you can directly cut short this budget, right? So that is what is called Power Automate. There's an option here as well. Power Automate for Power BI. So this is different. Even you can see in your Office apps. Okay, all apps you see over there also you will get this Power Automate. So it is kind of automating all the Microsoft suites. That's it. It's of no use much.
okay, thank you.
Okay, so any other questions? Anybody? Cool. So we can then close the session for